Hello everyone. In the last few weeks we have been streaming, we've been building some new builds, we got back into the game and wanted stuff to grind for, so we put a ton of builds together which we're releasing at the minute. And during one stream I was making an SVD build which was good for the Dread Edict, and one of you in chat said, you know what G, the Merciless would work great on that build. So I put the Merciless on it and lo and behold, yes, it was absolutely fantastic to use. And I thought, well, this build could be tweaked a little bit to work better for the Merciless. And we tweaked it, we played around with it, we tried all sorts of different combinations to find what I liked best. And I have to say, during all of that process, putting the build together and testing it, we've tested it on legendaries, we've tested it on raids, we've been farming in the summit with it, we've been farming in the open world, and the build is absolutely fantastic. I fell in love with the Merciless, which I later changed to the Ruthless. So if you do have the Ruthless because you pre-ordered the game, it works exactly the same with that. It just sounds a little bit different. You can use either, and it's a fantastic build. So today I'm going to share that build with you. Thank you again for whoever brought it up in the stream, because I used to write the Merciless off. I've never used it before, but it's actually a very good gun and I really enjoy using it on this build. I got some clips to show you of some good moments as well as we get into it. But first, I just want to ask if you could hit like and share to support the video. Subscribe if you're new here today for more Division 2 content from me. And most importantly, before you leave here today, come and click the link at the top of the video description to come and check out our community. It's the best community there is for Division agents, so make sure you do that before you leave. We're now going to get into the clips and the build. So we're going to start with a few clips, and what I'm going to show you is just how well the explosives work with the Merciless. If you know the talent, basically you're stacking a weapon up. We'll talk more about it when we go through the build, but after 7 stacks there's an explosion and you can do mega damage just like on screen now. Just look at all those 5 mils and a couple of explosives there as well. It's insane if you get it at the right time. That just ended that clip there, but I've got a couple more clips to show you now of just how well this can work. Okay. Oh yeah, is that or will? Yeah, it's definitely past level 30, wasn't it?
Yeah, might be will.
Yeah.
I didn't get on for the while, did I?
Yeah. And now here is the build. So we're going to go through this piece by piece. I'll explain the best that I can on how I got it down to what we got it down to. So first of all, we're just going to talk about the Merciless itself, or the Ruthless, because the build was built around this. It's based off my SVD Dread Edict build, and we've kind of tailored it to work the best way for the Merciless. And the thing with the Merciless is it does have a kick, and that's what kind of put me off the weapon in the first place. So we have a look at it. It comes with rifle damage, it comes with crit hit damage and critical hit chance, but the talent is this: it's binary trigger, and this weapon fires on trigger, pull and release. If both bullets hit the same enemy, you gain a stack. At 7 stacks, shooting an enemy deals 500% amplified damage and creates a 7 million explosion, dealing 500% weapon damage, consuming the stack. So the problem with the weapon being all over the place is that, you know, those stacks are going up slow, and it didn't really make it worth it. And basically, when it says fires twice on trigger pull, you literally press the trigger, well, on pull and release rather. As you press the trigger, you fire. As you release it, it fires. And with that kick, it's difficult to land them both. So we've had to make the build and make sure that it brings that recoil down, which is why people suggested that I used it on my SVD build, because that's what that was about. Now, what I really liked was the way I've done this is if you're at range, this absolutely beams. We had a lot of suggestions in chat and a lot from my friends that said, try this and try that. And even if like it altered just a little bit and the gun was still very stable, at the range I like to be, the kick would put off those stacks again. The second, you know, the release, the trigger, that fire there would miss or something, so the stacks went up slower. So how this build is now, you would have seen in the clips and in the footage at the start, it absolutely beams even at range, and that's how I wanted it. So the sniper specialization or the sharpshooter is definitely what you're going to want to go with, because with that you get some weapon handling perks which really help the build. Don't worry about the grenade, use whatever grenade that you want, and obviously we're using the Merciless or the Ruthless. The secondary is up to you. I've just thrown a Black Friday on there of LMG damage target cover, stability has got perfectly unhinged. As for throwing LMG on, just because an LMG makes sense on the build, is a good alternative if I run out of ammo or whatever. But throw what you want in as a secondary, and throw what you want in as the sidearm. I've got a TDI card custom. So now here's the build, and I'll try and remember the alternative versions we used as we go. But what I finished on was 2-piece Walker, a Grupo, a Cheska, a Petrov, and a Fox's Prayer Overlord. So these are kind of like best in slot. So you've got the Fox's Prayer with rifle damage there, but it gives you weapon damage, damage target, cover, and critical hit damage on the Fox's Prayer. The gloves are the Petrov Contractor's gloves. These come with damage to armor, critical hit damage, and weapon damage. They're perfect for this build. And with the 2 Walker pieces, we're getting weapon damage and damage to armor to stack with their Contractor's gloves. On the mask there, I got weapon damage, critical hit chance. We throw a crit damage mod on that. It's crit damage mods across the board on the backpack and chest as well, by the way. And the second Walker piece here is the holster. This has got weapon damage, crit damage, and crit chance. And with the Grupo chest piece, the 1-piece Grupo is giving me critical hit damage. I'm getting weapon damage, critical hit chance, critical hit damage, and I've thrown braced on it. The backpack is a Cheska backpack. As we said, it gives me critical hit chance for 1 piece. I got weapon damage, crit chance, crit damage, and a critical hit damage mod on it. I've got vigilance on that backpack, so the vigilance talent gives me increased weapon damage by 25%, but I am taking damage disables that buff for 4 seconds. Now I just want to talk about braced, because this is where there was a lot of thought and a lot of testing. So with braced, while you're in cover, weapon handling is increased by 45%. There's a lot of discussion about how braced is not needed to make the Merciless or Ruthless work, and it's not. I absolutely agree with that. If you take braced off, you can throw 2 weapon handling rolls on instead of critical hit chance, and that does still keep the gun quite stable with the sharpshooter specialization, and that would enable you to go like glass cannon or whatever other talent that you wanted in this chest slot to put out more damage. However, when I tested that, when I was at range, and like I said at the start of this, it did affect how it beamed, just by a little bit. It added a little bit of a kick, and I didn't like it. I wasn't stacking up as quick, so I wasn't getting those explosions as quick, because you got to get to 7 stacks and the next shot will cause that explosion. So I wasn't getting them as quick that way. But when I thrown braced on and the sharpshooter specialization, I did get them up that quick. It really beamed. I also tried it another way. We tried it with perfect braced, because if you use perfect brace, it's a Petrov chest piece that you craft, and 2-piece Petrov gives you weapon handling as well. So how I would have done that is I would have had the Grupo backpack instead of Cheska and lost a 10% critical hit chance to use that, and it would have gave me 5% more weapon handling instead of the 45% by using that piece. But then I would have got the extra 10% weapon handling there from the 2-piece Petrov. I tried it like that instead, and there was no real difference from using that way with the perfect brace to this way with just the brace and dropping that Petrov piece. That enabled me to put more critical hit chance on the build. So that's where we finished up with. And if we have a quick look at the stats on this build, it's got 52.1% critical hit chance and 178.5% critical hit damage. So the chance is very good and the damage is very good. And it's such a fun build to use, as I told you at the start of the video. I never ever gave the Merciless or the Ruthless any chance at all. I hated the stability with it. This build really brings that stability down. It absolutely beams at range, and with this setup you are getting those stacks up very quickly, and you're seeing that explosion all of the time. I was glad I could get a few clips with you just to show how well that explosion can work, and a lot of people were saying, yeah, but it's no Regulus. No, it's not no Regulus, but the Merciless Merciless is certainly easier to get than the regulars for those that can't do raids or struggle to find help with raids, so it's a good alternative. And if you don't like using a sidearm or using that sort of like playstyle, this is perfect as well. I found out there are actually a lot of people that use a Merciless and Merciless builds like this, and I'm now one of them. I really do enjoy it. It is a fantastic build, and thank you in chat for making me make it that day and suggesting that I put one together. And finally, just the skills. You can use whatever skills that you want. I always go with a revive hive and like a crowd control skill like a turret or a decoy. And that is the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. As I said, the build has been tested thoroughly. I've done it on legendary missions. I think I completed all 3 with it. I've tried it on the raids. We've been farming with it. It can be used for all. So give the build a go if it sounds like it's something that you'd like to use. Let me know how you'd make this build for you, if it's something that you do use or you have some different ideas than what I do. I'd like to hear them. Post them down in the comments below. But we're now done here. Thank you again for watching. Make sure you do hit like and share to support the video, and subscribe if you want more from me. But most importantly, now we are done, come and check out our fantastic gaming community. It's linked down below at the top of the video description. I'll see you in there. But until next time, thank you for watching this. Stay safe and peace out.